Every town has a story people laugh about in the daytime and whisper about at night. A story that parents call nonsense, but still lock the doors before bedtime. In the Appalachian foothills, deep in the woods where fog clings to the trees like spiderwebs, people have passed down a warning for over 100 years: never follow the music of the fandangle. Because if the fandangle chooses you, you may never find your way home. Long before highways and cell towers, the town of Briar Hollow was nothing more than a cluster of cabins surrounded by endless forest. Life there was quiet, predictable, peaceful, until the music began. At first, it was faint, drifting through the trees late at night. A fiddle, a banjo, the distant sound of laughter. The townsfolk assumed travelers were passing through, or that someone deep in the woods had started throwing midnight dances. But there was one problem. No one could ever find where the music was coming from. The first person to chase the sound was a young farmer named Eli Turner. One summer night, he stepped out onto his porch and heard it clearly. A lively tune, cheerful, fast, irresistible. It sounded close, just beyond the tree line. He grabbed a lantern and told his wife he'd be right back. He never returned. The next morning, the townsfolk searched the woods for miles. They found his lantern, still burning, sitting upright in the middle of a clearing. But there were no footprints, no signs of struggle, no clues at all. Only silence. The town tried to move on, but the music didn't stop. Over time, the town gave the phenomenon a name: the fandangle. According to local folklore, the fandangle isn't a person. It isn't an animal. It isn't even a ghost. It's something older, something that lives between celebration and trickery, a wandering spirit that loves music, dancing, and mischief. And it has one favorite game: luring people off the path. Years passed, then decades. Most people dismissed the old stories, until the night of the harvest festival. The entire town gathered in the square for food, laughter, and dancing. Music played long after sunset. And then, just as the band finished their last song, another melody began. But no one on stage was playing. The sound floated from the dark forest beyond the lantern light. A fiddle faster than any human hands could manage. A drum beat that seemed to echo from underground. At first, the crowd laughed. They thought it was a prank, until people noticed something strange. The music felt closer, not louder, closer, as if the forest itself was stepping toward them. One by one, people began drifting toward the trees, smiling, swaying, drawn in by the rhythm, until the town's oldest resident shouted words that would become legend: "Don't dance with what you can't see." The spell broke instantly, and the music stopped. The next morning, a teenage girl named Mara was found sitting at the edge of the forest, barefoot, covered in leaves, wide awake, but silent. For 2 days, she refused to speak. When she finally did, the entire town listened. She said she followed the music into the woods, farther than she had ever gone before, until she reached a clearing glowing with warm golden light. In the center was a dance. Not people. Not exactly. Shapes made of shadow and moonlight, spinning in perfect circles, laughing without voices, moving without touching the ground. And at the center of it all, an empty space, a place waiting for someone new to join. Mara said she felt an overwhelming joy, like she had finally arrived somewhere she was meant to be, like she never wanted to leave. Until the music suddenly stopped, and every dancing shape turned toward her at once. She ran. She never went into the woods again. and neither did most of the town. Today, Briar Hollow still exists, and locals still claim that on certain nights, when the air is warm and the wind is still, you can hear faint music drifting from the forest. They say the fandango isn't evil. It doesn't chase. It doesn't force. It simply invites and waits to see who says yes. Because the fandango only needs one thing: someone willing to dance. So, if you ever find yourself in the woods at night and you hear a fiddle playing somewhere in the distance, you might want to remember the oldest rule of Briar Hollow: not every party is meant for you, and not every invitation should be accepted. Because somewhere in the dark, the fandango may still be playing, waiting for its next dance partner. If you enjoyed tonight's story, make sure to like the video so more people can discover these tales. Tell me in the comments, would you follow the music or run the other way? And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you never miss the next scary story. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you in the next tale.